Get that one, yeah.
There he is.
Yep.
Chuck, this is the best one yet right here.
VanDam, Bass Angler of the Year. That says it all. At age 24, this Michigan Bassmaster stopped the pro bass fishing world's clock. Time nor age means little to this boy wonder of bassing. Older, more seasoned pros marvel at VanDam's success. Rick Clunn, the four-time world champion, among them.
That's the advantage of youth. I think it's been fascinating watching him this year. And I don't mean this as a criticism, but he doesn't have the ability of the top 20 guys out here. He doesn't have the experience of the top 50. I think it's incredible that he's doing it all because he believes. The advantage of youth is you still believe in the impossible. When you become an expert, your mind closes and you don't believe in the impossible happening anymore. He still believes in the impossible happening. Every day he goes out and he's making it happen.
In only his second full season on the Bassmaster Tournament trail, VanDam upstaged all his peers, the youngest ever to wear the coveted Angler of the Year crown. VanDam's brief career is truly impressive. Since joining the BASS Tour in September 1990, he's never failed to earn a tournament paycheck, and already he ranks among the top 30 all-time money winners. He won the Bassmaster BP Top 100 tournament at Georgia's Lake Lanier, and in 30% of the tournaments, he's finished in the top 10. Does VanDam have superpowers? We asked former world champion Tommy Martin to analyze Kevin's success.
And we've never had a young man come onto our trail and just really dominate like Kevin. Kevin's very unusual. He's unique in the way that he has never been really in awe of the Roland Martins, the Rick Clunns, the Larry Nixons, the Jimmy Houstons, the Denny Bryars, and on and on and on. He's never been in awe of these guys. He respects them. But at the same time, him being 24 years of age, he knows he can beat them. He knows he can beat them. He's not in awe of these guys. And I think that's one thing that's different about Kevin than a lot of 24-year-olds. But he's just a tremendous fisherman. He studied bass fishing all his life. His family, I got to know his dad pretty well, and his dad's taken him fishing since he was a youngster. His brother, Randy VanDam, is probably, they say, is better than Kevin, but that would have to be seen if he's better than Kevin. But Kevin's just studied bass fishing all his life, and he studied all the things that we've learned and we've taught in seminars, and we put in Bassmaster magazine, and we put on Bassmaster TV, and he's been studying. And he's learned well, I'll assure you.
And former Angler of the Year Jimmy Houston sees VanDam as a bionic basser, made from the pages of Bassmaster magazine.
One of the things that I see is that Kevin is an excellent student of the game. Every time that I've talked to Kevin, he's told me something that he's learned from somebody. After he won the Lake Lanier tournament, he came up to me and he said, "You're the reason I won this tournament." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And I finished 10th place fishing the same areas, and he just beat me like a drum. And he said most of my big fish was coming on about the 6th or 7th or 8th cast on the same log. And I learned that from one of your television shows. And there was a television show we did at Lake Dardanelle several years ago. And I had fished the same area, and I really wasn't attacking those logs just exactly the same way he was. I heard him mention something he learned from Shaw, something he learned from Larry Nixon, something he learned from Tommy Martin, something he learned from Ricky Green. He studied every single person out there and just really put a lot of thought and effort into what he's doing. And I think that of all the guys I've seen come along, he's just the best student of the game that there is out there.
Michigan isn't exactly a hothouse for cultivating bass fishing pros. Yet growing up there and introduced to its varied fishery at age 5 is Advantage VanDam. Today our Bassmasters cameras follow the 1992 Angler of the Year to his bass fishing roots, smallmouth fishing in Michigan. We're sure you'll find this brand of bassin' exciting, and perhaps like us, discover a bass fishery that's been almost unnoticed. But like Kevin VanDam, the proof is in the creel, and both are for real. I'm Bob Cobb. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back with tips and tactics for catching those battling brown bass, the smallmouth of Michigan.
There's one.
Get him. Run on that little strip.
Yeah, any little mossy spot on the flat like that. Full of fire, too. That's a little bit better one.
Now, he's darker, too, than those ones up there. And
That's what kind of green that one is. They kind of, you know, they definitely change their color to their surroundings. Just up there, you know, waiting to feed. That's a post-spawn fish.
flat belly.
Flat belly. Looking for minnows and crawdads. And
What's the natural food here?
they probably eat, in this lake, it's probably as much bait fish as it is crawdads in here, because this is connected to Lake Michigan.
Oh,
so
it
there's
is.
a lot of alewives and you know, lake run bait fish too. A lot of perch get in here too. You can catch one right there. I'm gonna start going and grub these. See, like this is the same deal right here.
Yeah.
This is what they're.
Not a lot of it, just little pieces, isn't it?
Yeah. They're just full of fire.
Oh, they are.
Not a bad fish. Boy, they're in here, aren't they, Chuck?
Yeah, do you think that grub in this kind of deal is the best?
On these shallow spots like that, it's the best way to hook and land them for sure. You know, you can catch them on a jerk bait here and some on a spinner bait, but when you get a bite on a grub, you can pretty much land them. You know, you'll get more bites on a grub.
How deep is it here?
4 foot. There's a lot of fish out here on these mossy spots on the flats, but the very darkest places on there is where they're going to be. I mean, like this strip right here is 20 yards wide, 60 yards long, but if you just look across there, you'll see a real. Oh, I just missed one. You see a spot that's a little darker than the rest, and that's. Oh, there he followed it in.
I saw him.
Did you see that? It was about a 3-pounder.
Yeah, I saw him. Pretty.
I shouldn't have reeled in. He'll go probably swim right back over in that direction. Right there.
I saw
Did you
him
see
up
that
get
one?
that one, yeah. I just missed one.
They're really on this deal here. They're up here feeding.
Just missed him.
They're taking it deep, too. There's one.
Off that grass again?
Yep.
Oh, that's a pretty fish.
2.5 pounder there.
Yep. That's probably the biggest
2
one we've caught,
3/4.
isn't it?
Yeah, so far. Nice one. That's a little chunkier.
You say in the spring, in the pre-spawn, you catch 100 of those?
Oh, at least. Lots more bigger fish. Pretty exciting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
You should see it when it's good. This is when it's tough.
Tough? Well, maybe. But Kevin VanDam, the Angler of the Year on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail, seems to catch fish wherever. This is Lake Charlevoix, a 17,260-acre lake in Upper Michigan. Here's where Kevin was introduced to bass fishing. He's learned his lessons well. This could be any body of water in the northern tier counties of Charlevoix, Sheboygan, Emmett, or Antrim. You'll discover any number of sky blue, clear, natural lakes, and all loaded with smallmouth bass. Now, traditionally, this is not bass country. Trout fishermen live here. But bass has its followers, and Kevin VanDam is mindful of those playing follow the leader. He preaches catch and release. Here you'll discover some great smallmouth fishing, but a fragile fishery. Kevin's not selfish, just concerned about the future. He willingly agreed to share his smallmouth fishing techniques with Bassmasters viewers, but doesn't want to call attention to any one lake. So if you visit Lake Charlevoix, remember VanDam's rule: practice catch and release.
He was aggressive.
Kevin and his partner for the day, Chuck Roberts of the Bassmasters TV staff, are here in mid-June. The bass, for the most part, are in the post-spawn pattern. chrome and blue jerkbaits, small plastic grubs, topwater Zara spooks, or the old standby chartreuse spinnerbait are the lures. Being versatile with a variety of baits is one of Kevin's success secrets. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the 1992 BASS Angler of the Year, Kevin VanDam, and his winning ways for catching smallmouth bass.
Just don't stop.
A bass is a bass, smallmouth or largemouth, north or south.
Little one.
Bass are object-minded. They feed from ambush. When fishing for smallmouth or largemouth, cast to objects, rocks, logs, or dark spots, structure you see in the water.
Oh, that's a good one.
Sure is.
Good fish.
Just out in the middle of this trough, aren't they? Come up there, boy.
He's just staying down. I don't know if I should lift that one or lift.
Well, they think they're a whole lot bigger than they are, aren't they?
That's bigger than you think.
Over 3, isn't it?
Yep. Good one there.
Pretty.
Right, just barely in the tip of the lip. He just barely.
We're just
Love those
reeling
small.
out there in open water? Or
He
on
was
that
right.
roll?
Well, he's in this trough here, you know. I just been throwing along at rocks and different things like that. And I seen that one. There was a big clump of rocks there, and I just threw a grub over there. We've been losing so many on that jerk bait, just nipping it and that.
I know it.
Yeah, I see another big log.
Fixing to come across it, huh?
The one I see is right there.
I just see where it landed.
Big rock.
Oh, I see it.
There he is.
I see it.
There's another one following him. Look at it. There's another big one following. See it down there?
Yeah.
The one that's following is twice the size of this one. I'll leave him down there. He's running for your bait. Do you get it? No? Yeah, you got him.
Yeah, he did.
Love it. Look, I get the 12-incher and you get the 2-pounder. It might be better than that. Pretty good fish. Look at that. It's about my luck. Nice fish. That happens a lot, you know, where you'll be reeling one in and there'll be another one or a whole school of them.
Doesn't happen too much at home, you know.
Smallmouth, it's, you know, a common.
He's 2 pounds.
2+. That's a thick fish.
Guess who just laid their jerkbait down?
Yeah. Well, when they bite the grub, they got it. They're just getting ready to go on to their summer patterns where they'll start getting on these drops and stuff. You'll catch them in these shallower places in the morning and in the evening, and then out on the breaks all day long.
You wouldn't think they'd get out there at 60 degrees, though, would you?
Well, the temperature is cooled down, but all it takes is 3-4 real hot days, and you'll have 75, 80-degree water temperature here.
It's so clear. And
There's one. Spinnerbait.
spinnerbait fish.
Not a big one, but
They're darker down here, aren't they? Than they were up there in that sand.
yeah, when they get around the rocks and the logs, they darken up for sure. Boy, he just, you know, for
Clobbered it?
only a pound fish, and that big spinnerbait, he just clobbered it. He was out away from the, you know, from that little break too.
In Michigan, the bass season opens the last Saturday in May. Normally by mid-June, the spawning and shallow water sight fishing have passed, and the bass scattered to deeper structure. But sometimes even the experts, the pros, are surprised by the bass's behavior.
Oh God, there's a big one there.
Where is it?
On the bed right
Okay, I
there.
see it.
We'll catch him here in a minute. I'm just locating at the moment. I can't believe how many big ones are still in here. There's another big one right there. Son of a gun.
On a bed?
Yeah. There's 3 big ones there we'll catch. We'll come back to them in a little while. I wasn't sure there'd be any up here. I see a big one out. I see a bed right out here too. Right there. Yeah, that's a good one there. Been talking about these bigger ones. He's not a real big one, but
It's not the big ones, though, that we saw before.
No, that's a good one, though.
He eat that one.
I got him on my 4-pound test. Don't just reel those right up. He's not ready yet.
Open your mouth, Junior.
See, that's just a 3-pounder. Nice one, though.
From the looks of him and those other ones, that's small, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some big ones in this area here.
We'll be right back and see if the big uns bite.
Here's one.
Stay tuned.
Good
The
fish.
Bassmasters will
that was a
continue
giant.
in a moment.
I'm gonna have to go to a jerkbait.
That was a big one there.
You know what? Bass here first.
Got him.
Got him?
Yep.
Yeah, he sure did. That's not the one I thought was on us, though.
Nope. Good one, though.
Yeah, you would.
Light line, you gotta.
He bit it. He preferred it over this one, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that reel craw, you know, I just put the reel craw
Yeah,
on.
you just had, yeah.
That makes a big difference. Good solid fish. Just a little one with a reel craw.
They haven't spawned, that fish head.
Nope, not yet. Most of them have. There's a few that, this area right here seems to have some bigger fish in that hadn't spawned yet. See if we can find some more. Same old little weedy patches.
You gotta look for something dark and throw at it, huh?
Yeah. Got one.
Got him?
Small one. Small one.
I didn't think he's bigger than my perch was.
No. That's the small one. They like the little light one, though, with the reel craw on it, though.
Yeah, I'm not having bites on this heavy duty one.
Let's put some reel craw in there.
Are you squirting?
I'm covering it. Okay, here's one.
See a spot?
Yeah. Not too promising looking, but take a peek at it anyway. See. Good one. Good one there. Chuck, this is the best one yet right here. Oh, yeah. Look at that one. It's about a 4. Nice fish. Yeah, oh yeah. Got him.
Got him that time?
Got him. Oh, that's a horse there.
Nice one.
That is a horse there. That is a horse.
Oh, that's big as shit.
That's
I don't think he's
well
quite ready
over
for
4
me, though.
there.
Huh?
That's well over 4. Look at the size of that pig there.
Don't you bite me. Oh, that's vicious.
That is a
fish
big
is 5,
fish.
isn't he?
Close to it. It's a big fish right there, Chuck. This time of year, they don't weigh as much as in the fall. That fish in the fall would weigh another pound more. Look at it, how old it is. Its tail's all gone from years of spawning.
That fish is well over 5 pounds, still. Well over 5.
That's a big smallmouth. Big smallmouth.
Love them. Love them.
Can't beat that right there.
But the
Can't beat
biggest
it.
one we saw still hadn't
Yeah,
got to
we
us
haven't even got
down
to
here.
the big ones yet.
Was he in that little place again?
Yeah, he was right up there on that little scruffy weed. Boy, look how big that looks in the water.
Woo.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable
full of fire.
jeans known to man.
In fishing for smallmouth in the spring on clear water lakes, you need to look for subtle regularities on shallow flats. Things such as a gravel bed, a mossy patch, a sand edge, or even just a log laying on the bottom. And the way you want to do that is with a good pair of polarized sunglasses. Once you've found these areas, it doesn't mean the fish will necessarily bite. The use of a good scent attractant can sometimes make all the difference in the world, as it did on this show. But remember, these lakes are fragile, so practice catch and release.
VanDam, he is a piece of work. Maybe he is versatile, and that's his secret to success. But don't overlook one other factor, confidence. Like all top pros, he believes the next cast is the right one. And next week, we'll take you to the same